right quarterback.
Say that again, though, Peter, because people need to hear that. It's okay that Jalen Hurts that people don't think he's elite. He gets the job done. When Jalen Hurts isn't bent out of shape.
Oh, but Jalen Hurts is in Greece with Michael Jordan. He's on a yacht. He's
smoking
fine.
a cigar.
And he's fine.
With his Kango hat.
With the Kangol hat. The Cowboys were not fine last year. They completely missed the playoffs, and Dak was injured. Well, Dak's coming back. And 2 years ago, Dak was everything in Dallas. Damian Woody, do the Cowboys need a superhuman MVP-like effort out of Dak to be a playoff team this year?
I think if they can't fix their rush defense, yes, they will. Because the one thing about it is you can't stop the run, you're going to be in a lot of shootouts. And so for me, when Dak Prescott plays a full slate of game and he's healthy, usually that equates to the Cowboys as one of the top offenses in the National Football League.
There you go.
Ad nauseum about the CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens combo. I think that's going to be a very good combo. But the defensive side of football, to me, is going to predicate if Dak Prescott is going to be one of these guys that's going to have to be a gunslinger this upcoming season.
Dominique Foxworth, we're bringing you in here on this. Dak Prescott, what do you make of him in 2025, and what can he do with this Dallas Cowboys team?
Yeah, I do think it's going to be a ton of pressure on Dak to get the job done.
There's always a ton of pressure on him.
Offenses and make the best of the George Pickens additions. I think George Pickens has shown that he's incredibly talented, but he hasn't consistently had the type of quarterback play that I think Dak Prescott could provide. So I think what the Cowboys are offensively is one of the kind of black boxes in that division right now, because if George Pickens turns out to be as incredible as he can be on some plays for an entire game,
Chris May.
he has a good quarterback, I think this team is definitely formidable. I'm not saying that they're going to dominate people, but if they get a lead, then you got Micah Parsons to deal with on the other side. I think this team could create some trouble in that division.
Could create some trouble.
Cowboys, new head coach, new defensive coordinator. How do these coaching changes help this team?
How do they help? I don't know. They may not help. They may have been the wrong hire. I don't know if many people around the league saw Brian Schottenheimer as a head coach 6 months ago. Jerry Jones did. The good news for him is this roster is still intact. It's still good. Dak Prescott has the capability to play at an MVP level. The receivers are set. I just have questions about what their entire operation is. I don't think that they're very talented looking at the rest of this division. The Eagles roster is much better, and Jaden Daniels and the Commanders have more momentum. So they're the third best team in this division.
There's a team we have not mentioned yet that also play in this division, that play in this area right here. It's the New York Giants. Kevin,
we can screw the Giants.
Eli Manning was on.
Screw the Giants. Well, hello, good people and Eagle fans. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope everybody's having a great day. It is Friday night, tomorrow is Saturday, and come Sunday, the team's charters will be landing outside of Oxnard at the military base and then trucking their behinds about 10 miles away to Oxnard, where they will get tucked into bed and training camp, and the offseason will be off. I can't believe it. I literally can't believe it. I can't believe Chris May has already wrestled the lead from, my name is Jeff, and Thomas Garrett is sitting in number 3. There's Holly Pierce. What's up, Holly? How are you doing? I'm checking on you, Holly, right now. We got Lady Libra in the house. What's up, Lady Libra? I see Kid Cowboy there. I see Jimbo. Of course, we got Chris May. We got Stacy Schubert. The Schubert Sense Report. Oh, shit. She done changed the name. What's going on, Stacy? I have been working, trying to get everything squared away. There's Dirty Sanchez in the house. Logan Motorsport, who was our winner, Dante Costa. What's up? Logan Motorsports wants a shirt for an Eagle fan. He didn't tell me what size that they were, but basically something to the tune of I kicked Mark Holmes' teeth in or something like that. So I got to tell Miss Tracy to come up with something. I was thinking maybe we get like an Alfred E. Newman. Is it Alfred E. Newman that used to be on Mad Magazine with the, he's got the smile, the red head, the freckles, and the tooth knocked in? I thought that maybe that would be kind of funny. Yeah, I kicked in Mark Holmes' teeth. Okay. Renee Allen. What's up, Renee? Shout out to Renee in the house. The thing I love about football season coming back around is all the lovely ladies start coming back in here too. And Chris May, appreciate the early super chat. Let's get ready to rumble. I am ready. Dude, so sick of hearing about elite quarterbacks from an ex-B. Okay. I don't know what the B, is that an ex-bitch? Oh, okay. Some interesting news. I know people get tired of me saying interesting. This is a case of check the source. I don't know. But about 2 hours ago, I was seeing a report that said that Jaden Blue, that anonymous sources that are close to the Cowboys coaching staff, said that he is borderline lazy and has a long ways to go. And Miss Gibson in the house. See, I tell you, football comes around, the ladies come out. You know, the freaks come out at night. Well, the ladies come out when football season gets here, too. So what's going on, Miss Gibson? Alan Williams in here. What's going on? At first, I was really concerned because I remembered last year, Jeff Kavanaugh, saying that early reports on Tyler Guyton was not looking like he was going to be ready to be a starter, that he was very, very raw, and that Chuma Igoda was looking like he was going to be the starter. And it was like, Igoda? Really? Because Igoda's been kind of like a journeyman. And it's like, damn, that's not good news. Maybe it would have been better news had it been Igoda, because they were right about these reports that he was not ready. He was very, very raw. But that wasn't a Cowboys blogger like Kavanaugh, somebody who's in the building. This person, I don't know who they were, but it was a report that came out that the Cowboys were kind of regretting getting Jaden Blue, and that there may be some issues there, that he's very raw and, like you said, borderline lazy. I don't know if that's the case or not. I've seen quite a few workout films of him. Release the Epstein files. Dak Prescott stinks. Okay. Logan Motorsports, hey, Lady Libra, Retro, clapping the blue heart. What's going on? Okay. And that's where I said, Thomas, I don't know if it's true or not. I just put it out there because that was what was being reported. And we'll find out. The thing about running backs, and I'm not going to say that I think we got all studs in the running game. I don't know. I know that Miles Sanders had a good season 3 years ago with the Eagles. They let him go. He goes to Carolina, and he's had 2 years that are down. Now, it is Carolina. Carolina has not been a good team since Cam Newton took him to the Super Bowl, and they've been on a steady decline the whole way. So I don't know if that is the case, but I do know this much. Running backs, as they get older, typically don't get better. On the flip side of that, I will say, I can remember when the Cowboys signed Darren McFadden, who for 3 years averaged 3.3 yards a carry. He came to the Cowboys in 2015 after DeMarco Murray left and, of course, went to the Eagles and was ass and had over 1,000 yards and averaged about 4.5 yards a carry. So from 3.3 to 4.5 was good, but we had, and without Tony Romo except for 4 games, but we had Tyron Smith in his peak. We had Travis Frederick. We had Zach Martin. All of those guys in the peak. That was probably the best that offensive line had been. 2015, 2016. After that, it started going downhill. Dirty Sanchez, lady. I keep refreshing X to get info on the ring ceremony. Okay. Uncle Charles, long time no see, man. How are you doing, man? It's nice to see people start coming back around now that football is just about here. So we don't know. If Jaden Blue, the other things on Jaden Blue, of course, is that he's under 200 pounds, so he's a little light in the ass, that he's good as far as catching the ball on the outside, but he will have problems, of course, going in the middle, which to me says he's Tony Pollard-esque. And what you want to have with that is you want to have a guy who can pound in the middle. Jaden Blue made 5-word response and said it was a fake news and that the production will leave them silent. And I love that response right there. If anything, what my real hopes in that is, Holly, is I'm going to show you, mother humpers, how wrong you are. That's what I hope. That's right. We're 47 days, 23 hours, 7 minutes, and 20 seconds away from kickoff against the Eagles. I hope that he does come out there with the chip on his shoulder. In fact, what I hope for, Holly, is everybody in the Cowboys comes out with the chip on their shoulders. You know, when you listen to the jackasses here on ESPN, now that most of the haters are gone on Fox, it was insane. Forgive me, I'm sorry, I got sinuses are draining. First thing he was like, well, 6 months ago, nobody thought that Schottenheimer would be a head coach, which is true. But, you know, I could say Kyle Shanahan coming from the Commanders to Atlanta for 1 year, not too many people thought that he was going to be a great head coach either. I can say Sean McVay coming from the Commanders, not too many people thought he was going to be a great head coach either. But here we are. They are considered great ones, and they came from losing organization of the Commanders. Cowboys need to have that mentality. But I was sitting there driving today because I had a couple places opposite direction from Manassas to Waldorf, Maryland. If you guys know the D.C. metro area from Virginia into Maryland, they're about an hour and a half apart. So I go out to Manassas, I take care of some stuff over there, then I go to Waldorf. And they had the Colin Cowherd show on in the morning. And I don't know if it was a re-air from yesterday or not because I don't watch or listen to it that much. And then it went on to First Things First. And then when I was done over in Manassas, I'm going back over, and now they got today's broadcast of the Cowherd. And listening to them, it was crazy because they were talking about Justin Herbert, right? And they were swinging from his nuts. They were talking about how great and generational Justin Herbert is. And then his lackey said, well, yeah, but, you know, the playoffs. Hey, in Colin Cowherd, but you can't blame him for the playoffs. Playoffs aren't his fault. He needs people around him. And I was thinking, he's got Harbaugh for a coach. He's got a great coach. Didn't he only have like 4 interceptions during the regular season? And I thought that it only mattered about the quarterback. But they were literally talking about, oh, he's so great and everything else. And it was just a few minutes earlier they kept saying, well, you know, Dak Prescott, he sucks in the playoffs. And I was like, you know, he's had some good games in the playoffs. I mean, 3 TDs and 304 yards in a loss to Aaron Rodgers. That wasn't a good game when the defense couldn't hold Aaron Rodgers for 43 seconds in the end after they took the lead. That did 5 TDs against Tom Brady in Tampa Bay. That wasn't good. Beating Seattle back when Russell was cooking. I understand that we're lacking, but you know, when you go around and say that Justin Herbert, you know, needs help, well, how about San Francisco when we had 14 penalties? How about when we gave up 169 yards to the ground? How about when Randy Gregory literally tackled an offensive lineman on the last drive that San Francisco had, giving them a 15-yard penalty, a first down, and they ate up more clock where had he not had that, we would have had the ball in better field position with more time, and maybe Dak wouldn't have run down and tried to get the ball spiked or to the official. Maybe we scored and won that game. I'm not saying he played great, but I can't look and say that he didn't need some help, especially when Zeke and Tony Pollard had a total of about 42 yards. Waiting to come on your show live. It's going to be great when you start taking calls to Roland. Yeah, they come all over his nuts, and that's what and with that being said, you can start calling him Herbert the pervert. Ooh, exactly. He hasn't done much either, but everyone is always enticing him to. If Herbert is in year 10 with only 2 playoff wins, he would be out of L.A. Clinton, I don't know. Here's my thinking. Okay? Now, just here's my thinking, Clinton. When you look at the Cowboys organization, when you look at, say, Dak versus Jalen Hurts, because Eagle fans, it's amazing. They win the Super Bowl, and they're still more worried about what they think about Dak Prescott. But the question really shouldn't be Dak versus Jalen. How about we look at, say, Howie Roseman versus Catboy? I mean, seriously. Howie Roseman versus Catboy. We're sitting here, and we are so freaking excited because the Cowboys traded a 3rd-round pick to get a disgruntled wide receiver in George Pickens, and that we re-signed Osa and Digizua. Let's be clear. Those are our big moves. The Eagles last year, they signed Saquon Barkley. The Cowboys, Dalvin Cook, and Zeke Elliott. Do you think having Zeke Elliott and Dalvin Cook is the same as having Saquon in the backfield? Do you think having the Eagles' offensive line that only changed one starter, that was center, last year, from a great defense, to the Cowboys losing Tyron Smith, having Zach Martin, a shell of himself, and starting Tyler Guyton and Cooper Beebe on that offensive line? Do we look at that and say that's the same as what the Eagles put on the field? Now, the Eagles don't hit on everything. But see, percentage-wise, they make so many moves that they don't have to have every single one of them work out. Huff didn't work out. Okay. But Saquon did. And they shoot for the best talent available. The fact that we look at Miles Sanders, Miles Sanders, the Eagles deemed expendable 3 years ago and said, we can do better. We can do better than that. They get Swift. Swift had a good season. And they still said, you know what, we can do better. They get Saquon. They are constantly looking at trying to get better. We cry about how much it costs to pay a player. Well, Dak's got to understand he needs to leave some of the pie on the table, for others. We're not going to reset the market for Zeke Elliott. Well, hey, jackass, you're the one that ends up waiting till the last minute to pay the guys, and then you blame them. Micah Parsons puts you on blast, subtly, in a nice way, saying that, hey, I wanted to get this done last year. And I don't know why, they didn't get it done. And here it is, T.J. Watt, who everybody kept saying, well, T.J. Watt, he's, 30 years old and he's been paid before, he's not going to reset the market. Bullshit. He did. And that's what pisses me off. The Eagles said he was expendable 3 years ago. How much does he have left in the tank? Again, and Dirty Sanchez, I hope that it's Darren McFadden all over again, but it wouldn't surprise me if it's Dalvin Cook. Micah needs to hold out. He's being too nice with Jerry. Marcus, I think at some point, my biggest fear had always been, at some point, he's going to say, you know what, this is bullshit. Because, how far will the Joneses push this? The Joneses could say, well, shit. Micah's, hey, Jerry, Micah's practicing right now, and things. Maybe we go ahead and get him to play on this 5th year, and, we can just franchise tag him next year. What's he going to do? And we'll just kick the can down the road. He's going to get $24 million this year, and that's going to give us a whole lot more publicity. And definitely you'll be talking about will he hold out? So I'm betting he doesn't, because he's a baller. He wants to be out on that field. And he just said, Jerry, hey, Daddy, he just said, when they don't want to get the contract done, just work harder. Well, maybe he'll work even harder to try and get that money. I'm dancing, boss. Yeah, you know what I mean, Jerry? Yeah, we might be able to get him for an extra year there. It's bullshit. It's so stupid not to get this thing done. And if I'm Micah, I would be like, Trevor Lawrence got paid early last offseason and ain't done shit. You got guys that were drafted the year after me, and Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner, that they got mega contracts and making more money than me. Everybody in my class ahead of me got paid last year. And here I am showing up at training camp, and maybe that's his mistake of telling everybody I'm going to be there. Somebody needs to buy the team from Jerry. Alan, Jerry ain't selling. Why would you sell? Why would you sell? You are the most valuable franchise in the world. Everybody follows every move you make. The fact that you can sit here and have Dak Prescott conversation, you would think that Dak Prescott is the only quarterback. Newhouse fam, your shirt is done. And it's sitting up there. I got to put the label, get Mike to put the labels on them and get them sent out along with D. Moore's, Vinny. I think Vinny's up there, and somebody else too. So shout out to our winners. Mark, what's even worse is the message that it sends to the players. You play hard, you won't get paid until you hold or go elsewhere. It'd be a good feeling knowing your team does that. But Jim Doe, on the flip side of that, and I think Mike has actually learned this. Let me rest myself a little bit here. I think Mike has learned this is I'm going to get paid by past history. It's just a matter of when. But he's seen so many players and the team get hurt because of what they do. I don't know I can't say that CeeDee Lamb holding out helped his season. I know it didn't help the team because you had him not here at training camp, not here at OTAs, and it looked like it with our offense that your number one wide receiver just showed up and your number two wasn't there. And so Micah is putting the team ahead of his salary. Jerry and his cap son somewhere else. What I wish, the thing that doesn't make sense with the Cowboys is if you go pay that $45, $48 to go for the tour of the Star, the place is incredible. I'm not going to lie to you. When you go and you see the trophies, you see the rings, you see the artwork there, you see the weight room, and you see the cafeteria. They're literally proud to tell you about the players get charged monthly for eating at the facility. Whether they eat there or not, they get charged for that. The Cowboys bring in about $12 million by doing the tours. Right? Mark, I'm 31 with heart failure, and I have a 3-year-old daughter. Your videos make it easier for me to deal with day-to-day problems, and I hope I make a full recovery in time to see Super Bowl. Tyler, I'm sorry to hear about the heart failure. Hopefully you get better. I hope you get better. My dad had congenital heart failure for 5 years. They told him he would probably have about 3, and he made it for 5 years. So keep the faith, buddy. I'll definitely keep you in my pair. Who cares about football? Cool in the gang rules. Lordy Bobby Beninsky, thank you for the super chat, buddy. Always here hating. When you hear about Tyler, him talking about congenital heart failure and having a 3-year-old daughter, you realize things are more important than Jerry and Stephen Jones. Actually, did I not put on? Oh my God, I did not turn on the football gods or get open for business here. Jeez. For guys that are so, that are counting the towels, they're not losing a towel. They are so tight with money. Why do they waste so much on contracts? Does it make any sense to you? Micah should have been done last year about 36 million. Dak should have been done the year before, should have been about 51 million. Kid Cowboy 66, over or under Dak playing 17. I got 5 games. Little Dallas Cowboy. Okay, the haters are here. Pickens was disgruntled in Pittsburgh because he had no quarterback consistency. Different kid here, guaranteed. Chris, I agree with you. But here's another problem. What if George Pickens comes through and he plays balls to the wall? Plays fantastic. Guess what? Kid Cowboy said his agent wouldn't answer the phone. Nah, Jerry, I don't know about that one, Kid Cowboy. I don't know about that one. About his agent. Jerry literally said, David Magenta who? In the same way Dan Sleece said, I never heard of Mark Holmes. Who the hell is Mark Holmes, okay? And has still yet to call David Magenta. And it's not like David Magenta does not have a lot of the Dallas Cowboy players. He better get to know that guy. I hope that David Magenta tattoos his name on his ass so that way he says, you remember. You'll remember my name because we're going to be doing a lot of business together. It happened in 19. So, Little Cowboy, are you hoping that that he only plays 5 games? Is that what you're hoping for? Why would you even put that out in the universe? And here's okay. So, Little Dallas Cowboy, you weren't there, and I wasn't there, so we don't know exactly what of it. Had fun on your channel. Peace out. Go Birds. Peace out. Go to hell, Birds. It's a two-way street. Do you think that the Dallas Cowboys are always looking out for the players' interests? Because, see, if the Cowboys had been smart, like some of the teams, like the Jets actually getting Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson, would have tried to get Dak Prescott done after the 3rd year. They didn't negotiate with him after his 3rd year. They didn't. They negotiated after they franchise tagged him. That's when they decided. As opposed to saying, you know what, we got a guy who came out the box, started for 3 years, and played well. Let's try and get him taken care of. And they said, no, we're good with him being on a $2 million deal. And the worst part about it is, even if that's true, Little Cowboy, even if that's true, they had a quarterback for $680,000. And what did they do to try and make the team better? What did they try and do to make the team better? You had a quarterback dirt cheap. Did they go out there in free agency and say, let's build a big roster, and then when we pay Dak, we'll already have all the players around him? Nope. Didn't do it. Did not do it. They're sitting here right now with $32 million. Sitting there with another $10 million that they could get. They should be working on Tyler Smith's contract right now. Have another year that you can hide the money and kick the can down the road. But we're still dicking around with Micah Parsons. We always, and this is what's funny to me, is some of y'all always take the defense of the team and figure that the team is trying to do a great contract for them. But the players are just greedy. You know how many players that they look at and they say, how can we get out of this contract? How can we keep from having to pay? When a player outperforms his contract, do they turn around and say, you know what? You did such a great job. We're going to go ahead and give you a major bonus because you're good. They don't. But if you slip up, you're out of here, buddy. You're out of here. And the more things you hear about from, little bits and pieces from some of the players about things that they do. Yeah, Hurts has 6 voidable. Yeah, Hurts money is way, way, way. In fact, the Eagles, take a look at over the cap. Go to 2029. And you'll see that the Eagles have $198 million committed to 2029. They ain't worried about 4 years down the road. They're worried about today. But you know what, little Dallas Cowboy? Here's what I would say. And I'm sure it's your job. You look to go ahead and say, I want to make as much money as possible. I want to make as much money. Because, here's the kind of things that they do. And I'm not saying that maybe they shouldn't have Randy Gregory, but they were trying to put in clauses in there where they could not only cut him, but they could retroactively go back for past money. It's kind of like saying, we don't need to have rules for big business. Big business will do the right thing and take care of the people. And when you think about what these guys do, when you literally see a guy die on the field and get brought back to life, when you hear that Drew Brees literally cannot play catch with his throwing arm with his kids because he can't raise his arm past his shoulder, when you hear about guys like Brad Johnson who literally need help to get out of the bed and they're younger than me, when I talk to Charles Haley and talk about stories from JMU, and he remembers nothing, and he's only a year older than me, you damn right you try and get every nickel you can. You damn right you try and get every nickel you can. Because for them, they don't care about the players. Papa Savage, I agree, but what I'm trying to point out is how the team is looking out for the team. And so you have now the players. Eugene, Leo's partner, Eugene. I can't remember his last name. Eugene talking about having a torn labrum. Team said, it's only a partial. It's not that bad. Take some Toradol, you'll be fine to play. He goes to the doctors, 3 different doctors. The doctors tell him it's completely tore. It's shredded. You're done. The team's telling him, it's okay. Take some Tylenol. You'll be fine. The team cares about the team. They don't care about you. You're a piece of meat. Monroe, thank you. Eugene Monroe. That's what the team does. They'll shoot you up, get out on the field. Jerry Jones carried about Aikman and Romo. Oh, that's a true statement. That's definitely a true statement. The extra money after Parsons will be used to sign. Chris, I don't know about that one. You need to sign Tyler Smith and maybe Deron Bland. So you've got some other pieces in here, whereas if you had gotten Micah done, now that's not to say you can be creative. Here's what we know will happen. In the same way they signed Dak and CD last year to big deals and they had huge cap numbers, They have the trigger in there that they'll be able to flip just like they will with Osa and Digizua and kick the ball down the road. Am I coming to? Yeah, Bill, I am going to be coming. I just don't know which game I'm going to go. I know I talked to my buddy Tony, who's a lawyer, who wants to meet me down there and things and stuff. So we definitely will be going. I just don't know which game just yet. Did you get those permits taken out for Pinks? No. Oh, my God. Pinks is not going next to my house, man. Forget about Pinks, man. I don't want no Pinks. New house fam, you can love your team but still want your money. There you go. I think we're going to make it to the NFC Championship game. Bill Phillips, I hope you're right there, buddy. I'm not putting that out there. I'm not saying that one. I'm going to say, let's wait and see. We have too many question marks here. Again, my big question is the running game. Is it bullshit what we heard about Jaden Blue? That's the first question. Is that bullshit? I hope it's bullshit. Does Miles Sanders have anything in the tank? Has Javonte Williams' leg finally healed where he's going to be productive? Because if we don't have a running game, it's going to be real difficult. What is this offense going to look like having two legitimate wide receivers? Even though Shoddy has gone out and said, we're going to be more balanced, we're going to run the football, you don't have the horses necessarily to run. But you do have two stallions at wide receiver. Are you going to stretch the field with those guys and try and open up the lanes for the running game? Is it going to end up being that you're going to say, screw the running game, we got to go ahead and just pass the ball because the running game stinks? Will Tyler Guyton, who is not getting any competition, become at least an average left tackle? Will Tyler Booker, who shoved down a kid to make sure he won in his camp and called out Jalen Carter, will he be able to come out and be like Tyler Smith? With Terrence Steele, who was a really good run-blocking offensive lineman, play like he did the first half of the season or the second half? Because all of that's going to matter. Will Dak Prescott, who we saw a picture that we cannot verify if it was actually the case or not, allegedly of him in Italy on a boat, who last time we saw him on a boat was had a soft cast on. Will Dak Prescott do what he has done the last couple of times he was injured during a season, and that's come back and play like gangbusters? All legitimate questions. Will George Pickens be the number one deep threat that he was last year now that he's got a legitimate quarterback and be ready to hold the Cowboys hostage for a big fat contract? Tony Simmons, Saquon saved the egos, not Jalen. Oh, I have to, Tony. Yeah, I'm full on board with that one. Jalen Smith does not win the Super Bowl without Jalen Hurts. Even though Eagle fans will tell you, well, look at how he played in the Super Bowl. It was because you had the threat of Saquon Barkley that Kansas City Chiefs made the call, we're going to make sure that Saquon Barkley doesn't beat us. We're going to put 8 men in the box. And Jalen stepped up. But without that threat, they ain't winning the Super Bowl, bro. That ain't happening. Newhouse fam, and your team sucks. The team's ass. Okay, J-Rock. Glimmerman, it's Jalen responded saying his production will silence them. And I hope that that's the case. And in fact, like you said, Holly, I hope everybody has a chip on their shoulder. They've gone through and they said our running game stinks. Our offensive line stinks. Our defensive line stinks. Our secondary stinks. Micah Parsons, overrated. I hope that all these guys say, okay, yeah, let's go out and show them. Cooper Rush didn't beat Washington the second game, laugh out loud. We won one of them. Washington is overweight. I mean, overrated. Woo, shots fired, Coyote. I think Washington is way overrated. Everybody out there, I'm just in my mind. They got the Scary Terry situation that could blow up. Commander fans, oh man, we got Von Miller. You got Von Miller about 4 years too late. Von Miller has had 14 sacks in the last 3 years. Dante Fowler's had 24. Make that one make sense. And Dante Fowler for us was a part-time player. Jerry Jones, go pull up the tape how Lamb has done to your Eagles. There you go. Newhouse family, no, we is confident and will remain humble. You're confident and will remain humble. Humble and Eagle fans, which is Stinky City because there's still a garbage strike? Humble? Come on, man. No, you will see there is a real deal if Debo stays healthy. Watch out. Vegas odds got Washington winning 13 games. Ghostface Gaming, if Washington, with the schedule that we all have in our division, wins 13 games, they're going to Super Bowl. There is no way in hell Washington is winning 13 games. Did you look at the schedule that they had last year? Lamar Davis, don't start your nonsense. Oh, man, I'm going to start my nonsense. The Commanders are overrated. They played some of the worst teams last year, including the Cowboys, and split the games. Sorry, beating Tennessee, beating the Bears. Come on. Going down the stretch, they played some of the worst teams in football. Now, granted, they played good in the playoffs until they got to the Eagles and got washed. But their defense, even with Von Miller, is lacking big time. I'm going to say losing Dante Fowler and getting Von Miller is a step back. At this point, I'm going to say it's a step back. Von Miller is getting his last paycheck out the door. Debo, contrary to, his agent says he's down to 220 pounds, has been working out every day, and he's okay. Eagles trolls in the house. Oh, man, the Eagles, they live here. They live here. They can't live without Mark Holmes and the Jobu Sports Report. They're looking for validation from Cowboy fans to tell them that they're great. Jay Smooth, what's up, John Jones? The other question will the Dallas Cowboys, are they done? Or will they be looking for some more depth and players throughout training camp? I'm still concerned about my defensive line. I like Jay Tola, but he's a rookie. I like Mozzie, and I expect Mozzie to play better, but I don't know that that's enough. Oh, Dirty Sanchez, 220 pounds, which thigh? Tyler, Mark, if you don't mind me asking, how old, my dad passed away this past year, and he was 85. So he was 80 years old. And what they were doing with him was, because he was older, he couldn't get a heart transplant. They were managing him with his medication. The thing they were doing with him was trying to keep his blood pressure down as low as possible. And he was actually on oxygen because he ended up having breathing issues because his heart rate, when he would stand up, would go down really, really low. So he needed the oxygen. But what they did was the combinations of different blood thinners and blood pressure medications to keep his blood pressure down low as possible. And it just got to the point where, with his age and things, that he succumbed to it. But he lived longer than they thought he would. We live here until the regular season comes and y'all get spanked left, right, and gonna be. Brock Turdy, you know what, Brock? You've been here for a long time, and you have never been banned. Don't tell that lie. Don't tell that lie. Philadelphia has been here almost as long as this channel's been here. Philly D has been here. I don't block. No, Eagle fans, why would I block you guys after that point? I'm used to you guys. You beat the hell out of us last year twice, including me being in Dallas and witnessing it firsthand. You won the Super Bowl. If I didn't block you then, why would I block you after that? Because it looks like y'all over 30 years compared to us. I see the Eagle fans can be very delusional. Yeah. Can't wait for the Eagles game. Debo's eating too many M&Ms, and he may be reading them upside down. He thought it meant Weight Watchers. Oh, good one, Dirty Sanchez. Good one. I teased during the Green Bay game and was sent packing. Well, you weren't sent packing by me. Without Dak in both games. All right. Well, you know what? If you're going to talk the talk, you walk the walk. And one thing I can say is, win, lose, or draw, Mark Holmes is always here. Whether it's falling out of my chair, getting drunk, or whatever else, I will be here. Marcus Blackwood. I just saw Debo Samuels at Philly 500 sharing a milkshake and a side of order of fries. Are you sure they were sharing it? It seemed like he would be a bucket of fries if they were sharing it. It's only the new ones in the chat that's trolling. Don't point everyone out with that brush. Jimbo's been here for a long time. 30 years. Yeah, well, you know what? Kansas City was 50 years between them. And I believe you guys, it took you 50-some years before you won one. Face mark. I mean, hell, Logan Motorsport won a T-shirt last week. Jalen will win one or two more. Don't guarantee that. You can't guarantee that ever, my man. You could say it's possible with Howie Roseman, but don't count on that. Oh, damn. Retro, that's the response of the night. Why doesn't Debo run fade routes anymore? Because every time he turns, his jersey gets flagged for excessive baggage. Damn. JJ don't know about Pickens. Well, I tell you, here's the most exciting thing for me. I don't know how we're going to do against the Eagles week 1, but there's going to be so much air of mystery. What will the Dallas Cowboys come out and do? The Eagles always seem to start the season off slow. Brian Schottenheimer getting his shot with a brand new team. A team that doesn't have any holdouts, at least not at the moment, although Micah might hold in. And hopefully the Joneses get his deal done. Cowboys got this on week 1, and that's a fact, Holmes. Gary, I hope you're right, because nothing would make me happy. Okay, but you already know the built-in excuse. If the Cowboys somehow ruin the party for the Eagles week 1, they're going to say, of course they beat us there. But it's the regular season. Mark, you'll be full steak after watching your team lose on the 4th. Okay, Lamar. Debo don't run fades anymore because it takes too long for him to fade out. You're hoping to catch on the you're hoping to catch us on the toilet? What does that even mean? Yes, Kildoffy, I can't wait to watch it. Your quarterbacks better get all the practice they can handling Lamb and Pickens this season. Every team will be like rusty first 4 games of the season. You're right about that. But you don't know what to expect from the Cowboys. I don't. There's so many question marks. How are some of these young guys that we had, if I think of, if there's hope for Tyler Guyton, it's probably if you look at Terrence Steele from his rookie year in 2020, who I remember Miss Jackie saying she wanted to push his ass off a bridge. And we all said, if we never see Terrence Steele start again, it'll be fine. But then the second year, he came out and played great. What if Tyler Guyton comes out there and does that? Jimbo, Mark, I don't know. Your players have been talking a ton of shit. The Eagles will definitely be up for that game. They're listening to all that mess. I don't know. We've been talking a ton of shit. I mean, Tyler Booker says, I want to play the best. Jalen Carter. What's wrong with that? You want to be the best, you got to beat the best. This ain't the Browns or the Giants, Mark. You better recognize. Mark, I can't wait to see the Eagles offense and the Dallas offense. I can't wait either. I'm just, I almost want to just go to sleep and just wake up on Tuesday and find out about practice. That, you know, just sleep until then and just wake up and all of a sudden the offseason is off. Jimbo, you think the Cowboys ain't ready? Well, here's what we can say. In retrospect, this time last year we had Mike McCarthy on the hot seat, Jerry Jones getting vilified for saying we're going all in and that we've done nothing. We had Dak Prescott in a soft cast before training camp started. We had CeeDee Lamb holding out and the watch of, is he going to have to play on his fifth-year option? Are they going to trade him? And so on. Is Dak going to play on his last year of his deal? And this will be his last year. Those were all the distractions we had. We've got none this year. Although talking heads trying to say that Brian Schottenheimer will be one and done. We got that. But we don't have those distractions that we had. And we've got everybody going to camp, getting Donovan Easy squared away last night. Are you going to see the televised? Are you going to be seeing the televised on Cowboys' new app? What we got practice will be televised on their new app? Okay. And, you know, this is cutting off my nose to spite my face. I kind of wish the Cowboys didn't show all of their practices and things, that they weren't all open to the public. Let's make it so that, you know, they're not performing for the cameras every day. You know, Eagles got one open practice. One. Lovely Linda. Welcome, Linda. One open practice is all we got for the Eagles. Cowboys, you can go everywhere. Last year, it was the Ravens and Chiefs first game. Now they put Cowboys there for ratings, not merit. Well, the Cowboys do put fans in the stands there, Lamar. Don't hate. Don't hate. And maybe they know something that, you know, nobody else knows. Here's what I know. The Cowboys last season were literally unwatchable. There was talk of the Cowboys maybe being moved out of prime time for some of their games because nobody cared. But it's funny that this year they're still getting more primetime games than anybody else. If the Cowboys are going to be ass like the talking heads are predicting, or like Vegas is taking 7.5 over and under, then why are the Cowboys going to be in all these primetime games? I'm not saying that it's fixed. But it's kind of funny that there's still all of these games. If I'm a betting man, and I do from time to time, I'm thinking the Cowboys are going to be better than what people expect. He's not. Rings is a team, not a winning. Rings is a team win, not a player win. You're right about that. Gary Brookwalker. They all hate Mark Holmes, and that's a fact, buddy. You're right about that. Actually, no, they don't hate me. They love to be here. You always use the Eagles for reference and good examples just for you. They are getting their rings tonight. Yes, Cowboys put fans in the stands no further than wild card round the last 30 years. Thank you there, Philadelphia. Jalen Hurts' faith, family, and championships says nothing about stats. Don't cover Cooper Beebe the whole game and easy cover. Oh, Coop didn't cover CD the whole game and, okay, keep the same energy this season. Dallas has the most fans. It just makes sense, business sense. They've been on TV forever. Has nothing to do with experience or winning. Jimbo, though, last year with Cooper Rush playing, I'm sorry. It was hard for me to watch those games, and I'm a diehard Cowboy fan. Jeff Lee, my name is Jeff, just came in. I'm so glad that clown Shady McCoy is off the airways. He made it too personal with Dak. He did that because it's the only way that people are going to give him any listen to him at all, is come up with some of the stupidest takes. You could tell that he never did his homework. He was an idiot. Say nothing else to the Eagles. Let Lamb and Pickens do the talking. There you go. Lamar Davis, Jalen Hurts' disrespect has surpassed Dak's disrespect. I'm not sure about it. It's moving up the chain, Lamar. But I have to say that you can take Dak Prescott and take all the other quarterbacks combined, and they're still talking about Dak Prescott more. That's a fact. Jeff says, I love boobies. One day Carmen might come back to the Eagles. One day dust settles and they will stink again like they did in the 2000s. Lamar, you ain't seen nothing yet. Well, I can see everybody's getting feisty right now. When do the Eagles, I don't even know, when do the Eagles report? I know the Steelers report on Tuesday, because I was talking to my buddy Richard, who's a Steeler fan. I know it's hard to watch, Mark. I watch your streams every chance I get. You always keep us entertained, though. Thank you, Jimbo. I appreciate that. Dak can win a Super Bowl and still get hate. I can agree with you on that one, too. Because of the type of player he is. Hey, Jeff, all men do. 21st. Well, it's going to be interesting, to say the least. You know, I can't wait. So come Sunday, we'll watch the plane come in, see the players disembark. Monday, we'll listen to Jerry and Stephen Jones. Noah Brown as wide receiver. Right. Noah Brown as wide receiver. Let that sink in. Because Dak sucks more. He's got Hurts got to ships wondering, even JD5 gone further in the playoffs in one season. Okay. I'll be happy for Dak winning a Super Bowl on another team. Laugh out loud. Okay. We don't have to worry about number 4 ever winning a Super Bowl. Wow. The hate is there. Dak hasn't done shit in 10 years. Laugh out loud. Just for his, wow. Leave Shady alone. He's invested in housing in his hometown for low-income people better than Dak and Micah. Okay? Des Bryant said he doesn't believe that Dak would win a Super Bowl with the Eagles team. Okay? Jay Smoove, what do I think the score is going to be week 1? It's a little early. Can we get through training camp and see how the team looks first? Let's get in the horse before the cart right now. That's a little bit early for me to start trying to say what the score is going to be. All righty, good people. It is time to turn off the lights here, man. It's getting late. I've got to get up out of here early in the morning. As always, I appreciate everybody being here. Shady, you mean Shitty McCoy. All running backs for their egos, except the Eagles, are reporting the 21st. Jalen and Saquon will be there. It's too many Philly Chickens fans on here. I'm telling you, they're feeling it. They're feeling it. And I hope the Cowboys win and they all disappear. Dak should start modeling. Good night, Holly. Hope you sleep good tonight. They need to send Cowboys to Brazil. You got to watch this year what Dak's going to do this year. J-Rock, good night, buddy. Appreciate you. Yes. And Eagles suck, too. Lady Libra, good night, Cowboy Nation. Have a nice night, everybody. Shout out to Logan Motorsports. Good night, Glimmerman. Good night. And Chris May is our winner chicken dinner tonight. Email me, Chris, and let me know what you want to do on the shirt. You got it? Rhonda. Help me, Rhonda, in the house. Then your ratings will be low, Mark. Okay, great show. Then hit the like button and subscribe. Thanks, Vince P. All righty, good people. As always, I appreciate you. Keep the faith and it's a new season, and anything can happen.
Turn out the lights, the party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night, the party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing.